Hi there, it's April 21st and time for Proverbs 21. Let's just jump over there and we'll get into it. Huh? Now we're comparing the Living Bible, which is an extreme paraphrase, I call it, with the New American Standard, which is a very far left word for word translation, so exact. And it's fun to compare them. Yeah? Verse 1, just as water is turned into irrigation ditches, so the Lord directs the king's thoughts. He turns them wherever he wants to. The heart is like channels of water in the hand of the Lord. Okay. The king's heart. It says the king's heart. And it here says the king's thoughts. Oh well. Note that. Okay. 2, we can justify our every deed, but God looks at our motives. Every person's way is right in his own eyes, but the Lord examines the hearts. Right? Motives and hearts, I mean, that, could mean the same thing. We'll mark them anyways. God is more pleased when we are just and fair than when we give him gifts. Right. To do righteousness and justice is preferred by the Lord more than sacrifice. Okay. That's pretty good. We're going to highlight that because that's a... Okay. You can't tithe your way out of trouble, okay? I like that. 4, pride, lust, and evil actions are all sin. The tillage of the wicked is what evil actions are meaning over here. I see what it says over here. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the lamp of the wicked is sin. Okay. Which haughty eyes and a proud heart could be pride, lust, and evil actions, or the tillage of the wicked. 5, steady plodding brings prosperity. Hasty speculation brings poverty. That's a very interesting way to put that, isn't it? Steady plodding. The plans of the diligent certainly lead to advantage, but everyone who is in a hurry certainly comes to poverty. Right? No such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme, because it never lasts. 6, dishonest gain will never last, so why take the risk? The pursuit of death, it calls it over here. That it is why taking the risk. Acquisition of treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor, the pursuit of death. Right? I kind of lightened that a little bit, didn't they? 7, because the wicked are unfair, their violence boomerangs and destroys them. Yeah. Sooner or later, their lies and stuff are going to come back and bite them. Okay? Because you have to cover lies with more lies, and pretty soon you forgot what you covered the lie with, and people catch you in it. And it boomerangs. That's kind of an interesting word. 8, a man is known by his actions, or by his actions is implied, it says. An evil man lives an evil life. A good man lives a godly life. The way of a guilty person is crooked, but as for the pure, his conduct is upright. There are good people that don't live godly lives. Okay? Something to note. 9, it is better to live in the corner of an attic than with a crabby woman in a lovely home. It says contentious woman. Contentious means somebody who likes to argue. Okay? You can work on that and make it so it's not like that, instead of just hiding in the corner of an attic. 10, an evil man loves to harm others. Being a good neighbor is out of his line. The soul of the wicked desires evil. His neighbor is shown no compassion in his eyes. Right? Some people are just evil, They're just 11. The wise man learns by listening. The simpleton can learn only by seeing scorners punished. When the scoffer is punished, the naive become wise. But when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. Right? So sometimes people learn by watching other people get punished, and they say, I'm not going to do that. Right? And it works. Which is how the law is designed, actually. I mean, if you're doing something and you see somebody else go to jail for what you're doing, you tend to stop. No, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to go to jail. It's the way it's supposed to work. 12. God, the righteous one, knows what is going on in the homes of the wicked and will bring the wicked to judgment. Right. It says the righteous one, or capital R, capital O, righteous one, God. It's interesting that they call it the righteous one over here. Meaning that it could be somebody other than God. Okay? But they capitalized it here, and they made a note over here that it is capitalized. So, interesting. 13. He who shuts his ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in his own time of need. Right. That's a good one. You know, give to the poor now, because one day you may be the poor. And if you never give to the poor, you'll be the one who doesn't get anything if it happens to you. An angry man is silenced by giving him a gift. Well, that's pretty short, isn't it? A gift in secret subdues anger, and a bribe in an inside pocket strong wrath. All right. You can buy people off. Is it the right thing to do? It doesn't say it's right. It just says it'll work. 15. A good man loves justice, but it is a calamity to evil doers. Right. Evil people don't like justice. Evil people are afraid of justice. There's a lot of fear going on now. People that are afraid of justice. People that are doing horrible things, that are afraid of getting caught. Mostly because they're afraid that their horrible things are going to come out, so they're trying to stem that off. But we won't go there. 16. The man who strays away from common sense will end up dead. That's pretty succinctly, huh? A man who wanders from the way of understanding will rest in the assembly of the dead. Yeah, pretty much says it. You stray from common sense, you'll end up dead. 17. A man who loves pleasure becomes poor. Wine and luxury are not the way to riches. Very good advice. Okay? Very good advice. One who loves pleasure will become a poor person. One who loves wine and oil will not become rich. Huh? Now that's why a lot of these people that win the lottery and come into sudden wealth, which it says all over Proverbs, it never lasts. They love pleasure and wine and luxury and toys, and they gotta buy. I want to have everything, so they buy it, and then pretty soon they're broke. 18. The wicked will finally lose. The righteous will finally win. The wicked is a ransom for the righteous, and the treacherous is in the place of the upright. See, now this, I have gone into this before, and it's kind of confusing the way they say it, and I'm not sure if this says it any better. What's their note here? The wicked will finally lose, the righteous will finally. Literally, the wicked is a ransom for the righteous. Oh. The wicked is a ransom for the righteous. I'll have to do a study on that verse. 19. Better to live in the desert with a quarrel than with a quarrelsome, complaining woman. You think Solomon had trouble with his wives, plural? 20. A wise man saves for the future, but the foolish man spends whatever he gets. Right? That's pretty wise, huh? There is precious treasure and oil in the homes of the wise, but a foolish person swallows it up. Right? You spend money as fast as you get it. Not a good idea. 21. The man who tries to be good, loving, and kind finds life, righteousness, and honor. A wise person scales the city of the mighty and brings down the stronghold in which they trust. Strength of trust. I wonder how they got that from that. A wise man conquers, the strong man levels his defenses. Right, 21. Weird. Just be wise, right? 23. One of my favorite verses. Keep your mouth closed and you'll stay out of trouble. All right, got that? It's just that simple. Okay, one who guards his mouth and his tongue guards his soul from troubles. Right, that's a good one. One of the overriding themes of all the Proverbs is to keep your mouth shut. Okay. 24. Mockers are proud, haughty, and arrogant. Pretty much. Proud, arrogant, scoffer are his names, one who acts with insolent pride. Right? A mocker is one who acts with insolent pride and mocks other people. Now they ran 25 and 26 together, which I don't know why they did that. But the lazy man longs for many things, but his hands refuse to work. He is greedy to get, while the godly love to give. The desire of the lazy one puts him to death, for his hands refuse to work. Idle. All day long he is craving, while the righteous gives and does not hold back. Desires. All right. I guess you could put those together. A lot of people, if I only had this, if I only had that. Right? Now, if you give, you always get back more than you give. Always. So, that's why the godly gives. 27. God loathes the gifts of evil men, especially if they're trying to bribe him. Or try to bribe God? Some people do. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with evil intent? All right, we're going to highlight that just because. People, they're known as philanthropists nowadays. They give and give and give to the poor and give to God, but they have evil intent, and their hearts are evil, and they're not doing anything to straighten out their own lives. Again, you can't buy your way into heaven. You can't bribe God. I like that. 28. No one believes a liar, but everyone respects the words of an honest man. That's pretty straightforward, huh? This says a false witness will perish, but a person who listens will speak forever. Okay. Turn that around a little bit, but it says the same thing, basically. It says a liar's going to die. Okay. 29. An evil man is stubborn, but a godly man will reconsider. Or it says thoughtful. Right. Thoughtful. A wicked person displays a bold face, but as for the upright, he makes his way sure. A godly man will reconsider. Make your way sure. Think about it, right? Makes sense, I guess. 30. No one, regardless of how shrewd or well advised he is, can stand against the Lord. Right. You will never be as smart as God, okay? A lot of people think they are. 31. Go ahead and prepare for the conflict, but victory comes from God. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory belongs to the Lord. Okay? Make all the preparation you want. God's going to win the battle. Okay? God's going to win the battle. So there you go. That's Proverbs 21. Let's see what we highlighted here. Now I put the different words in blue. Okay. This says directs the king's thoughts, and it says the king's heart. Okay, it goes a little deeper than just his thoughts. Okay. And 2, we can justify, but God looks at our motives, and it says God examines the hearts. Your hearts. Okay. Heart is a little deeper than motive. Okay. And we highlighted 3. God is more pleased when we are just and fair than when we give him gifts. Right. Trying to be righteous and doing the right thing and, giving to the poor and following Jesus in his example. God is more pleased in that when you give him gifts. You can't buy your way into heaven. You can't tithe your way out of trouble. Okay? 5, we highlighted steadily prodding brings prosperity. Hasty speculation brings poverty. Right. Remember the old fable, slow and steady wins the race. Right? Probably where that came from. The plan of the diligent certainly lead to advantage, but everyone who is in a hurry certainly comes to poverty. Right? No such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme. Okay? If you get rich quick, you're going to get poor quicker. That's the way it always works. Highlighted 7, because the wicked are unfair, their violence boomerangs and destroys them. Right? It'll come back at you. Okay? It'll come back at you. The secular people, or the atheists, call it karma. They believe there's some all-powerful force that gets even with everybody, but it's God. Okay? And if you're wicked, it'll come back and get you. Eventually, it always does. Okay? Somebody always comes along and beats up the bully and teaches them a lesson, and it's usually somebody you never expected. Their own violence destroys them. Okay. And we highlighted part of 11. The wise man learns by listening. The simpleton can learn only by seeing scorners punished. And it does say that. Okay. When a scoffer is punished, the naive become wise. I mean, some people will learn from other people's mistakes, especially if they're making the same mistakes. We highlighted 13. He who shuts his ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in his own time of need. Right? If you never help anyone out when they're down, when you're down, there's not going to be anybody around to help you out. 16, we highlighted, the man who strays from common sense will end up dead. That's pretty straightforward. Okay? A person who wanders from the way of understanding, or common sense. Highlighted 17, a man who loves pleasure becomes poor. Wine and luxury are not the way to riches. Wine and luxury. People get money to buy big cars and alcohol and toys, and you're going to become poor. Like I said over and over again, almost everybody who wins the lottery becomes poor faster than they got rich. And they're usually worse off than they were before. They spend the rest of their life going, if I'd have only put it away and lived on a little bit a month. But too late now. And 18, the wicked will finally lose, the righteous will finally win. That's true. It will happen. Jesus is coming back soon, so he said everything right. I'm highlighted 23. Keep your mouth closed and you'll stay out of trouble. It can't get much simpler than that, okay? Keep your mouth closed. And that means when you're on the internet, too. Don't be typing in and buying into these people's arguments. Just keep scrolling, okay? Just keep scrolling. Even if you're like, well, this guy's an idiot. Why is he saying that? Just keep scrolling. You don't even know the guy, okay? You're starting a fight with somebody you don't even know. That's crazy. Okay? Keep your mouth closed. Keep your hands off the keyboard, okay? And you'll stay out of trouble. It's my own paraphrase. 25 and 26, which they ran together. And it kind of goes together, I guess. The lazy man longs for many things, but his hands refuse to work. He is greedy to get, while the godly love to give. Right? If you ever see somebody, they're getting so much, they get so many blessings. What you're not seeing is they are pouring out blessings, okay? A lot more blessings than you're pouring out. You know? God will fill your cup, and if you don't ever pour it out, he's not going to fill it. It's full. Okay? If you pour out your cup, God will keep refilling it. The faster you pour it out, the faster you'll fill it up. So if somebody else sees it, they go, well, look at all the blessings this guy's getting. He's pouring out his blessings. And the Lord will always fill it up faster than you pour it out. The more you pour it out, the more he's going to pour in. Okay? It says that everywhere. Where was I? Okay, 27. The God loathes the gifts of evil men, especially if they are trying to bribe him. Right? Sacrifice for the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with evil intent? Right? Some guys give just to be evil. Okay? And we highlighted 30. No one, regardless of how shrewd or well-advised he is, can stand against the Lord. There is no wisdom, no understanding, and no plan against the Lord. Or advice. You can't go against the Lord. You can try. You'll never be as smart as he is. You'll never be as powerful as he is. You'll never be as awesome as he is. You know? You want to learn to fear the Lord? That's one way to learn to fear the Lord, is to do stupid stuff like that. So there you have it. That's Proverbs 21 for April 21st. Right. Let's take a look at our... Okay, today, in Through the Bible in 1 Year, we are reading a bunch of Psalms. Because we're in the book of 2 Samuel, and it's the story of David. Okay, and David wrote most of the Psalms, so they're putting the Psalms in. This is a Through the Bible in a Year in chronological order, you know, as the events happened in history. So they're putting the Psalms in between, you know, David's exploits, we'll call it, because even if he wrote them later in life, he was writing about certain times when certain things happened. And they're putting them in there, which is kind of interesting. So today we'll be reading some Psalms of David in Through the Bible in a Year. Catch that. Catch up on any you may have missed. Yep. Until next time, have a good Sunday. Give somebody a hug. Don't gossip. Don't gossip. Stop the gossip. Keep your mouth shut. See you next time.